Topsy and Lulu are sisters, and they are billed as having the biggest breasts in the country. We're going to talk to them and other sisters who strip for a living. Don't go away. Probably heard about those twins who were separated birth men and they both became firemen. Is there something that runs in families? Well, we'll find out. My guests today are sisters who say stripping is their family affair. Now, these two women were working as strippers in the same city. 3 months ago, they found out they're sisters. They didn't know that. We'll tell you how they were united a little later. And you're going to meet these sexy sisters who say showing off their bodies is in their blood. We'll talk to them, watch them strip, and then meet Mom and see what she thinks about that. But our first set of sisters say their bodies have made them the center of attention all their lives. Only there's something really unusual about this set of sisters. Anyhow, they got all this attention and they decided to make a career out of showing off their bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Topsy and her sister Lulu. Saying to yourself,
what are you saying to yourself?
You are now saying to yourself, who is the sister in the middle? Correct? Well, there is a strong facial resemblance. You see, this is their other sister, Lisa. Lisa is a little envious. How do I put this tactfully? Lisa is envious because the two other sisters are better endowed. How do you like that?
No. Lisa's my twin sister also.
Your twin sister.
She's not envious at all. Excuse me, Sally.
Okay,
Lisa's not envious at all.
What?
Twin. I'm her twin. I'm not envious at all.
You're not envious?
Not at all. She's very content with herself. Very content.
But two of you, Topsy and Lisa, are twins.
Which one do you think we're twins? Who thinks the twin? Who do you think I belong to as a twin? That's right.
You are the twin with Topsy.
Yeah, but you always make jokes. Now, you always say you feel cheated, and I always joke back. I told her I'm going to send her in for some breast implants for Christmas. That's a joke, everybody. She's the domesticated one of the family. Okay.
I wouldn't have brought that up, but are they implants or are they you?
Well, I bear it all. Anyways, to be honest, I have been implanted. But I was so big to begin with that I was always stared at, always pointed at. So when I went into show business, I wanted to make sure I looked the best that I could. So I implanted myself, and I'm very happy with it.
But naturally, you had very large...
Oh, I was very big. I started off in City Hall, you know, and I was a secretary.
In City Hall?
Uh-huh. And it was sad, because I used to go to work every day. This was, you know, I tried to be a secretary, and what they did was they gawked at me, they made fun of me, they pointed at me. So I would come home crying, you know, because this is like not for me. What am I going to do? You know, this public is like, I can't handle it, basically. There's got to be something else out there. So I decided to go into show business and to use my assets as a positive and not a negative.
You are not identical, though.
We are identical by birth. We're 5 minutes apart.
No, wait. You cannot be identical.
I just drank more milk. All our life growing up, it was funny because I was always mature than her. I always was taking care of her. I was like that motherly image to her. And as we were growing up, 1 year she'd be good, 1 year I'd be bad. 1 year, you know, we always... Right, it was always reversed. And up until she was a teenager, I was the matured one. I was the one that had little cupcakes, and she was flat. I know. Now God has, like, punished me. No, but he has.
But we have to mention one fact, that we have an aunt in our family that is completely... She's bigger than both of us, and that's where we feel, or at least I feel that I, you know, got my breast from. Because, you know, I'm natural, and the way I feel is You know, I've always been extremely big breasted.
You are natural?
Yes, I am. These are my breasts, it's my blood running through them, and they're warm, and they're mine, and they weigh 20 pounds apiece, and I love them. They take me to the bank.
How would you know what your breasts weigh?
Well, because I've had contests in different clubs where they've built scales to weigh them. Okay, so I mean,
Though I do
actually
have to
weigh
say
more than a
one
pound
thing,
of butter, I'll tell you that much. You know?
One thing, she is very big and everything, but today, her agent made her wear a padded bra.
No, I don't have a padded bra.
Show it! Yeah! I had to show you that.
These are mine, these are real. No, they're not, they're all there.
Well, no, it's a costume bra, but I had to say that.
I don't see no pads here, honey. If you know, that's not me. No, my agent did not. This is just a conflict, and I don't agree with it.
Motherly image in here. Why don't we go to the next question?
Yes, we
I
can go.
noticed that there, Lisa, in all due respect, there's a kind of a rivalry between your two sisters. Do you know that the producer came into me and said, Sally, they're having a... What happened?
Well, you know, it's not between
You know what
us.
it is? It's not. It's the business, and it's very difficult being in the business and having two sisters such as ourselves with the attention that we get, and there's things that sometimes we don't agree upon or we don't get along upon.
Well, it's
Doesn't
not
mean we don't
really
love
us,
each
it's
other.
the
We do love each
agent.
other.
You know,
Yes, you know,
sometimes her
sometimes-
agents overreact.
That's right.
And she makes
the
Lulu
business.
do things like
No,
wear a
I
costume
wouldn't
bra.
say just my
You
agent,
know?
her agent too.
Right.
You know, there's two different
As you can see, this conflict, and the best thing what we do is Mother Lisa sits in the middle, and I basically try to support
Do
each
they
and
fight a
both
lot?
of
They
them.
were fighting before
They
the show.
really didn't before this business. We've always been a very close family. My
we
mother
still
has
are,
taught
as
us
far
one
as
thing
I'm
in life, and that is to be the closest in love. And I love them more than life, and we all love each other more than life. And I feel that, you know, we're just fortunate. It's unfortunate because of the business, and there is a little rivalry.
They make
there.
a little rivalry.
But it does, in the end,
Sometimes it can be a
come
lot
out.
of fun.
Yeah, it
And
is.
We have a lot of fun.
And there's
We
a lot
do
of
love
fun.
each
There's
other.
a lot of
We
laughs
might get
there.
catty, but
All right, we
you know,
all
do
have
have
to
our
talk
differences.
one at a time. Now,
Okay.
Lulu is billed
You might say that a few times.
as the 8th and 9th wonder of the world. 8th and 9th. All right.
The 8th and 9th. This is the 8th, that's the 9th.
No, I got it. They did not get it. Do you want to tell me about how you got to be the 8th and 9th?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, my sister got into the business before I did. I was actually taking care of my grandmother for a few years before she passed away. God bless her soul. I love her very much. She was very magical in our life, and she was a very big part of our life. She taught us true values. And it wasn't just my grandmother. I was close with my mother, and I still am very close with her. I love her dearly. She supports us all the way, and
She loves having stars.
She
just
loves it.
It's her
Because
dream come
we're definitely positive about it. You know, we take care of ourselves. We're not into drugs. We make it a profession, and we really care what we do, and we enjoy it all the way. And you know, my title is the Canadian Kissing Bandit. I'm the first one to run out in the Dome
Your
in Canada.
title is the Canadian Kissing Bandit.
And actually, you know, I have run out and done international things before, but I basically support the Blue Jays. They're one of my, top teams. I enjoy them, and it's a sport that I enjoy doing. I enjoy going out in the baseball park, and I enjoy being, a doll to the audience, and I enjoy all the attention. That's what I do for a living. There I go. Okay.
I would like you to take a look at this tape. You see, what she's explaining to you is Topsy has really made a name for herself in baseball stadiums all over the country. She runs out and kisses professional baseball players before they start the games, and that's why they call her the Kissing Babe. Boy, can she take a pitcher's mind off his curveball. Now, Topsy, you've been arrested for doing this.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
That's the bad part.
The bad part is the arrest.
I love going out to the ballparks, and I go out to every ballpark, and I usually do it every week in season. And I have such a good time, but sometimes they will arrest me. They arrested me in New York 3 times. In fact, I was playing at Goldfingers, and they had to come and bail me out because I was missing all my shows because they had me locked up for 11 hours, okay? But the thrill of running out there is unbelievable. That's all I can say. In fact, I have a funny feeling that there could be a baseball player in the crowd. I'm getting this psychic commission. Where are you? I can see there's a baseball player. Oh, I'm getting the chills. There he is. I see him. Oh, my God. Something that makes me just go crazy. Oh. There he goes.
This is good, like this.
Here, let me give you a kiss, honey.
Take it on my shoulder.
commentators. They just found out 3 months ago they're sisters. A story you won't believe. Stay with us. That for reasons we don't understand, when one sister is kind of in the romance business, the other sister seems to be. So we're continuing our show today with sexy sisters who are strippers. Please welcome Fiona and Teresa. Growing up, Fiona was told that she had a sister that was born out of an affair that her father had with another woman. It was kind of the thing she just grew up and knew naturally, and no big deal was made about it, and she didn't think much about it. Now, going along, 3 months ago, she met her long-lost sister, Teresa, for the very first time. When they met, what Teresa says was so shocking was that not only did they look at each other and they looked alike and act alike, they both had the same job in the same town, and they hadn't been living in the same town. They were both strippers, which, as I said, brings to mind how people separated can somehow wind up in the same place with the same job. Fiona, how did you finally meet your sister?
Well, it's really a long, complicated story, but we always knew about each other. But in my family, it was a hush-hush thing because, like you said, she was born out of an affair. So, you know, it was just kind of kept secret, basically. But I always knew about her, and I always, you know, wondered and everything. And it was just ironic because I moved from my hometown to to Arizona, and we lived in the same state, not knowing each other.
You had been living in different parts of the country, is that right?
Yeah.
That's right. What's funny is that I sent my pictures in to my agent. I just started on hooking with him, and he's like, wow, it's unbelievable. You really look like Fiona. And I was like, wow, that's really weird.
Who's Fiona? Didn't you say who's Fiona?
Yeah, because I never heard of her or anything. And talking to Charlie, you know, he was, you know, it was just unbelievable.
All right, now we're going to introduce...
They were getting our promo mixed up, our pictures. They'd start sending my pictures out in place of her, and they would get us mixed up all the time. And, you know, we had no idea that this was going on until he had mentioned it.
So both of you had come from opposite parts of the country.
Opposite.
Both of you were working in Arizona. Both of you...
We didn't work
there. We just lived there.
And both of you were doing the same job.
Right.
And neither of you knew that this was not a family job. Now let's meet Charlie and get Charlie to explain what happened from your point of view.
Well, what happened, I have an agency based out of Miami, and we have a lot of girls from all over the country.
Who are strippers.
Who are headliner strippers. Have been in Penthouse magazine and different, that type of thing, magazines and stuff, or Topsy is one of our girls. What happened is, I have a whole staff, and they get tons and tons of pictures in from all different kinds of, you know, girls from wherever. These guys look identical, and my staff is going through, and I've got like 6 people just separating pictures, and they're going, oh, okay, let's put this promo pack together. I'm getting calls, I want to book Fiona, or I want to book Teresa, and this comes to my attention, and the department manager from there comes to me and goes, what's going on here?
In other words, you couldn't figure it out, but 2 of them looked awfully alike, and people were getting them confused. Did you ask them if they were sisters?
I'd known Fiona. She'd worked with us for a long time, and we'd had conversations and things, and I kind of had, in the back of my mind, known about that. I think it was told to me in passing conversation. This all came to my attention after a couple of months that Teresa came to us, and I was like, something's up here. And I started listening to her story. I talked to Teresa a little bit, and she had said she had been adopted. So all this stuff came to pass, and I put them on the phone together, and they were like, it was wild.
What did you find out? This happened 3 months ago. Right. Thank you, Charlie. What did you find out that you had in common? You had completely different backgrounds, different parts of the country, raised by different people, like that separated at birth thing. But what did you find out you had in common?
We had so many things in common. It's just, and our personalities are just alike. We're just, it's almost like clones. I mean, it was just, from the first time I met her, it was chemistry. It was just, I mean, I can't even explain
You
how
have the
it
same
is.
taste in food?
The same taste in food. We have the same, what's really strange about the whole thing is, you know, like I said, we lived in the same state without even knowing each other was there. And she was working in a club there in Phoenix, and my boyfriend was in there.
And he pulled me off
stage. And he pulled her
stage.
off of stage.
Yeah,
He thought
he
it was
did.
me. And I was in
He's
her
like,
boyfriend's a dancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was at a club watching him dance, and he came up to me.
When I was away working
And
out
said,
of town.
"What are you doing here? You're supposed to, you know."
Now, you
got us
two have
mixed
only
up.
been together for 3 months. You're already finishing each other's sentences. You're already... and yet we have two identical... Are you sure you're identical?
Identical. Definitely.
You're
And,
identical
you know, we're
twins.
just very similar because we also feel anything that, you know, like, we'll say when I was pregnant and I was ready to deliver my children, my sisters knew right when I was going to go on birth. You know, we feel throughout our lives certain things, vibes. We've always picked up on vibes. Whether danger, we call each other when we feel that there's a
There's
time
this
to call
another
each other.
sense.
Right.
We have been asked, Lulu, you are only a size 7 dress. Is that
A
correct?
7'8", I fluctuate, but, you know, that's right. It's correct.
So that you're really a small person if you're a
Actually,
size
yes, I
7.
am.
How do you buy clothes?
Well, it's very difficult. I have a lot of my clothes custom made, and I mix and match constantly, and it is very difficult. I can't actually go into a store and get, you know, a custom-made suit made up like that on the rack. You know, I have to really chop around.
I mean, even before our surgeries, our implants, we had a hard time
Before
putting
yours.
that. No, yours too. You were
No,
implanted.
no.
Liar, liar, liar.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
But no, before
you
my...
can speak for yourself.
Before my
Speak for
implants,
me.
before I put them in, I always had a hard time fitting dresses. And so that's the way it is.
Wait a minute.
No, this is...
She's claiming you had
She is
implants.
claiming that.
Dr. Johnson in Houston performed for her.
No,
Charlie Fry, could you answer that question?
Oh, okay, forgive me, young. I'm willing to let it go.
I am too.
I don't think my concern
and I think
is...
we should let that go.
But I like to be truthful with the audience. That's what we're here for. And I
Here for yourself, and she's here
Let
for
me
herself.
just ask a health question, if I might.
Exactly.
With all the things, the problems that have come to the fore, are you worried about it, Lulu?
Right. That's Topsy.
I'm Topsy.
That's right.
Sorry,
That's
Topsy.
the blabbermouth.
Well, I try to tell the truth,
No,
but I
you
am
just
worried
speak about
about
yourself.
it.
Don't
You
worry
are
about it.
Excuse me, I'm very worried about it, but I go in for mammograms and I call our doctor and we go in for testing. That's the only thing you can do. But I don't think it's as serious as people make it out to be. In other words, there's certain people that might have problems if they were being treated for cancer with the implants. That's what I found to be true. But there's over 2 million women that have surgery a year. And those women, there's not problems with them. I mean, they're saying it's a big deal, but I don't think it's as big as what they say.
Now, neither of you have children.
Excuse me, can I just
Oh,
for 1
sure.
minute? I'm willing to go with, to any doctor in any state and to claim that I do not have implants, okay? This is what she's saying, and that I just want to make stated that, you know, I don't agree with that, and it's my body, and I do not have
As you
implants.
can see, they do not get along all the time.
Well, no, but, you know, this is
We had this
can
show
get this
planned
girl, but I'm
about
right. No.
sisters
As far
that
as
really get
children,
along.
I'm the only one that has children, Sally. I have 3 beautiful children. We were speaking of children. I'm the only one that has children. I have 3
Do
children.
they know what aunties?
Yes, they do. I have an older daughter, Tara, who's 11. I have a 3-year-old, Ashley, and Frankie, who I love.
And they know what
and
you do.
I do explain it to them that, you know, my sisters are entertainers. I stand behind their decision. I also feel that I wouldn't want my children in this profession. It's a very hard life with the top of the glamour and everything. And there's a lot of it. It takes a very special person to be who they are.
You get more work as sisters?
We've only not really.
Not
I don't
really.
think. I think it's more of a novelty, but it's no more work than I had before.
I want to ask, do either one of you have or want children?
This time.
I would like a little girl in about 2 years. I can
I'd
hardly
love
wait.
to be an auntie. You know, I mean, but you know something? They are very good to my children, and I thank God for that because they're very close. And, you know, it's nice because my children not only have this, they also have my husband's side, and their nieces and nephews are wonderful. So these kids are always around, and that's there. They like
You
their
know
kids.
what your sister said? She said she sat on you at birth.
I think she did, Sally, as we can all see. But, you know, I also have 3 children, too, and look at me. So I know.
All right.
I would like to know if any of you have any back problems.
No, none at all, because naturally I am natural, and I've always grown up with these, and I'm used to them. So that's the #1 question, though.
I do. I have some back problems.
I do too, and I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Carry my
This
children.
question's for Topsy. You spoke before about being abused earlier.
Oh,
Do you have any psychological problems where you want to take somebody on sexual harassment charges?
No, I don't, because I'm not sexually harassed now in my industry. I wasn't so much sexually harassed as verbally abused. And
Are you saying when you were a little girl?
no, when I was working in City Hall as a secretary, I was verbally abused every day to the point that I would come home crying. I'm very sensitive, and I'm usually very truthful, and that's
who
what
would
gets me in
do that?
trouble.
The public, Sally. You
The
know, because-
public?
Right.
They would
and
see that your
they can
breasts
be
are large and they would
Yeah,
abuse
they were big enough that everyone said, "Look at the girl behind the desk," you know what I mean? And I would just be like cringing. I was
Well, I
so
don't think she knew what
embarrassed.
to do with herself that time.
I didn't.
She realized the beauty that she had behind her. I think the
hated
business
it.
made her feel very confident about herself because she wasn't confident growing up. You know,
No.
she didn't have that confidence. Like my sister Cindy, she was always confident. Laurie, it took time. When she realized the beauty of who she was and who she is today, she's a whole different person.
You
She's
know,
very glamorous. She's very...
I think you are I don't have a sister,
Thank
but I
you,
think
Sally.
you're a great sister. Look at the way she talks. She really is. All right. Next. We are going to meet another set of sexy sisters who will perform, and Mother is going to tell what she thinks of the whole thing. You don't want to miss this one.
This mother wants to save her daughter from a man who hits her.
I am not here. Oh, in a while. How many days, Robert?
She says, "I hate the man in my daughter's life." Next, Sally.
For want of a better word, I guess we're calling this sexy sisters. Meet Ingrid and Kelly. They grew up as beautiful sisters, and they knew about each other, so there's no problem there, and neither of them has a flat-chested twin, okay? They were the picture-perfect little girls that their mothers were proud of. But Ingrid and Kelly are all grown up, and they recently have been asked if they would do the sisters issue of Playboy. Please welcome one of the sisters, Ingrid, because she makes her living as one of America's hottest strippers. You've met the stripping sister. This is the non-stripping sister, and we'll explain what she does in a minute. Kelly. Kelly, are you proud of Ingrid? Tell me about her.
Oh, very proud of her. She has a lot of fun with what she does, and she brings a lot of fun of it into the family as well.
She likes to share a lot of what she does, and she tells us all about all of her trips and everything, and she gets to travel a lot, which benefits all of us because she always brings us back some little something and tells us all about it. It's good fun for the whole family.
Now, you don't do that, but you pose nude, is that correct?
Well, we did the sisters issue of Playboy, which was a lot of fun for both of us, for a couple of reasons. One is because we did the setting. It was on a farm-type setting, which is where I'm most comfortable. And being on horses. And puppies and kittens.
We grew up with horses.
Yeah, and being with my sister, because I'd never done a shoot or anything before, made it a lot more
She almost fell off the horse. She did.
I was pushed off. I was almost pushed off the horse.
Almost pushed her off. They wanted us to sit right close together on a horseback topless, and you don't do that.
That's my favorite sport, too.
She almost...
It was fun, though.
Kelly, you had a child when you were 16. He's now 11. Does he know Mommy poses nude?
Yes, he does. Hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Yeah, he's very open-minded for his age. He's a lot more mature than a lot of kids his age.
He's a skateboarder, too.
He's exposed to a lot more, and he handles it, I think, wonderfully.
Now, we'll get to Ingrid, because I think Ingrid has been modeling since she was 14 and doing exotic dances since 18. And she says, I've only got 7 years left. What is the height of, what's the farthest you can go before it's over for you?
Well, I think I could go a lot further than 7 more years, but I'm saying, you know, I'm just kind of guessing 7, so I can get all my finances in order, so I can, you know, go back to school.
Is the money important, and will you go back to school?
Of course, but you know what's more important than the money is the excitement. I quit dancing for about, I guess, God, 6 months. I went nuts. I missed it. I love I love dancing for you guys. Did you guys like it?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun?
We're going to ask you about your romantic life, and don't anybody get worried. No, the stuff she can tell us. Apparently, it's a
that narrows it down a lot.
She's had a very unusual love story, I think. You met a man, and you tried to fix him up with your sister.
Well, I fixed him up with every girl that I knew. And
she knows a lot of girls.
I know a lot of girls. Steve was gorgeous. I was dancing on this stage, and I was looking over and wiggling my butt, and I looked over, and I saw this most gorgeous man. But I was dating someone, so I couldn't go out with him, so I fixed him up with my girlfriend. That didn't work out. I tried to fix him up with my sister, that idiot. I mean, my sister wouldn't, it didn't work out. So I gave up, and I married him.
You married him. You gotta do what you gotta do.
When were you married?
We married the day after Christmas at the house. This was my maid of honor. She was so pretty. She had a green, oh, you should have seen, she had a green ball gown on with lots of cleavage, just raw silk ball gown.
And I took a second look at Steve during...
And when they asked if anyone objected...
It's a little late now, Sid.
How you doing? What I was going to say is, Lulu?
Uh-huh.
You work in ballparks, right?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay, I used to be a
indeed.
bat boy for the Yankees back in the late 70s.
Uh-huh.
And
No,
I wish
but
we would have had that then. But I'm saying, you know, I was saying.
No,
but what I want to
come
ask
up
you
with
is,
an
when it comes to love making, I mean, is there a problem at all?
Oh, no. In fact, I have more positions than most.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
I'm not quite, well, what the heck.
Hi, Sally. My question is for Lulu. Do you have difficulty sleeping, and do you have
Not
back
at all.
problems?
No, not at all. I can get into any position, like I said, just about, and I don't. It's very comfortable for me. You know, I'm like I said, I'm used to them, and my back is developed, and there's no problem at all. I mean, I occasionally would like a nice massage, though.
Could we see her get into one of those positions?
Thinking.
I would like to congratulate all the young ladies. I think you have a beautiful self-image, but what I'm most interested in knowing is what are your plans for the future after you have exhausted the entertainment field at this level?
Let's ask our two recently found each other sisters. Now, you went home for the first time together for Christmas, right?
Yes.
Whose mother did you go to visit?
I went to visit
her mother.
My mother and father.
Was Dad there?
Yeah,
Dad that had fathered you.
Right.
Both.
We have the same father.
We have the same father.
Was
We're half
mother a bit
sisters.
upset?
Was my mother upset?
Yeah.
No, she wasn't upset. It's still, like I said, still shocked. I don't think they ever thought that we would come together, and we never did either.
What are the plans for the future? What do you want to always do what you're doing
Not
now?
at
Always
all.
strip?
Not
No?
at all. The main reason we did this show today is because of the fact that we do want exposure and other things. We're both very talented. We're both intelligent, and we like dancing. It's not our first love. It's all right, and it makes us a living. But I would really like to stress that I would rather do other things.
We just finished a rock video like 2 nights ago.
Rock video.
Was that fun?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a lot
of fun.
A lot of fun.
How many, well, who's the only one who has a child? Would be you, Lisa, and Kelly. How much of the work that you do in the industry is because you have to pay the bills and raise a child? I mean, are you making more than you'd make if you were just bookkeeper?
Well, no, because I don't dance. I'm not a dancer, and mostly what I do is like your normal, average, everyday person job, and I've had to raise my son by myself the whole time, and I've just had to do regular jobs, and the Playboy thing that we did was just a little something extra. You know, I've not really made that much more money off of it.
Right.
I hope to maybe one day.
Do that.
Yeah.
All right. What would it be like to be the mother of the sisters who stripped together? All right, we're going to ask Ingrid and Kelly's mother, although one poses, when we come back. We're talking with sexy sisters, and we've met Topsy Curvy, yeah, that's her name, and Lulu and Lisa, and then Fiona and the long-lost sister Teresa, who are stripping in the same town and never met each other until a few months ago, and then Ingrid and Kelly, who are posing together for Playboy. Now we're going to hear from a mother's point of view. Please meet Sandy. Sandy is the mother of Kelly and Ingrid. Says you came from a very conservative, very, very, very conservative family. Is that true?
That's very true.
And now look at what's happened in 2 generations, correct? How do you feel about what your daughters do for a living?
Well, first of all, I think both my daughters are drop-dead gorgeous. I mean,
they are.
You know, they couldn't see any better. I brought them up to be free thinkers, to do, you know, they're not hurting anyone.
Is that a reaction to the way you were brought up, Sandy?
I'm not real sure. I rebelled against everything from the time I was 3, and...
So this is okay, and you have pride in your daughters. Do people make comments to you? Do they say things?
A few people said... kind of had this look of sympathy on their face, and I was going all over town waving the issue of Playboy around. So look, this is my daughters. In fact, I was working in an office, and it's a large office, and people had their children's pictures around, you know, hanging on the walls and here and there. So I went into the director's office, and I said, I'm really upset. I said, I want to know why I can't put my daughter's picture on my desk like everyone else. So he assumes that some lower supervisor has told me I can't put my children's picture up. He said, well, of course you can. He said, what makes you think you can? So I pulled out a new picture of her. He turned about 5 shades of red.
See, I think that's where you get the negative and the positive to the business. The positive is that you do really well, you can perform, you enjoy what you do. The negative can be when people prejudge you. And there are a lot of dancers that should be prejudged, but there are a lot of us that are out there that do professional shows, and we should be recognized for that. And all these ladies up here are professional ladies. And we should
I noticed something interesting.
Judge, that's their problem. That's not ours.
Every one of you is blonde, so if anyone is thinking, I wonder...
Blondes have more fun.
Here's our strong man. Yes, sir.
How are you?
You're not really a baseball player.
No, I'm not.
You just had the jacket.
No.
I'll teach you.
It's a clown. I play funny. Lulu? At a very young age, how soon did these develop?
I'll tell you one thing. When I was about 12 years old, it was probably close to 36, 38. I don't remember exactly.
How tall were you at that time?
Oh, well, I'm not that tall, but I'll tell you, they definitely stood out.
Well, they still stand out now.
Just in case you think we have an all-male audience.
Yeah, Lulu and Topsy, do you have regular 9-to-5 jobs? And if not, what is the take-home pay when you're performing?
That's a good question. What do these people earn? Let's go with Topsy. Topsy,
Okay.
I know there's money in it. Do you
I gave up 9 to 5 a long time ago.
Okay.
What I do in the business, I have all burlesque shows. And there's not too much of that out there. I have $5,000 gowns, 35-pound gowns, and I perform like sort of the old-style burlesque. That's my claim to fame. As far as money, I'm not going to say the exact figure because it's not fair to my sister or the other girls to say what I make. But let's put it this way. I claim 6 figures a year.
Okay, is that more than you were making in City Hall?
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. Who else wants to talk about money? People always say there's money in it.
You'll notice that we'll get very shy when it comes to the money.
There might be money involved because a lot of deductions and a lot of expenses, too, to keep up if you want to be very pro and you want to look good.
Definitely not 9 to 5.
No, not
Like,
at all.
I have a $60,000 wardrobe.
That wardrobe isn't too shabby either.
We just scrape by.
Do you? You really just... No, come on. Are you teasing me, Ingrid?
It's a rough life, Sally.
I get a lot of fringe benefits from it also.
Hi, this is for Topsy and Lulu. I know that you got years to go with entertaining, but when that's finished, do you plan on getting reductions?
Well, I don't. It all depends. Of course, if I do have back problems, then I might. But as far as I'm very content with them now, and as long as they're healthy and I'm healthy,
What I plan on doing is I plan on taking the implants out and put a smaller implant in because I do have some back problems. In fact, I work out 2 hours a day because of that because I want to keep my back strong. I do 200 crunches, life cycling, and all that. And as soon as I am finished, I'm going to take the implants out and put smaller ones in. That's
Who
what
else
I plan on doing.
exercises? Do you all? Do you, all of you? Calisthenics?
She doesn't do anything. She eats everything. She never works out. She makes me sick.
That's how I am. With my 3 children, that's enough exercise. How many people out here are moms? Okay, what kind of job is it? Full-time, right?
She's always
She doesn't have hyper energy anyways. You know, she can eat like a lot
This is for any of you. Have any of you been propositioned before when you're dancing? After
Never.
No, I can't say the same.
Well, I think it's part of the business, isn't it? You were teasing, weren't you?
It's part of life. If you're a woman and you look halfway decent, you're going to be propositioned every day. It makes no difference if you're in a dance club.
No, do people want to give you money?
I've had that happen at least 3 times a week, and if it stops, I guess I'll get upset. But no, a lot of guys will come up and they ask, you know, if they could pay to be with you, and I take it as a compliment. Of course, I love show business. I'm not a prostitute. I'm a showgirl, but I still take it as a compliment.
Take a break. We'll be right back. I think that you had a real important point. But I also feel that way about the women in the fashion magazines, about models. I think we women tend to look at these things and say, gosh, we don't measure up a lot. And we do it not only with Sexy Sisters, but probably way too much at every level that we exist at. Now, what was I supposed to ask Teresa and Fiona? Boyfriends. Do you have them? We have 3 candidates in the audience who are interested.
Me, kind of.
Kind of boyfriend?
I don't know anymore since I've been gone, but Our boyfriends, it's really ironic when we met and everything. Our boyfriends know each other now, and they are so much alike. It's unbelievable. So we sit back and talk about them, and they talk about us, how much we're like.
Well, our boyfriends
really
met
wild.
each of us individually before we ever met each other.
Which is really strange.
And when you got together, the two boyfriends were alike? They were?
Yes.
Well, but, you know, we talk about them, you know.
They have
and-
so much in common.
I mean,
It's unreal. It's like we both have the same taste. And,
I don't
and
understand
guys.
that. But it's
My
there's
boyfriend's
something
the same
else
kind
that
of guys.
exists.
My
Take a
boyfriend's
break.
a
We'll be right
dancer,
back.
and he...